Welcome everybody to Snagging Grass and Catching Bass. I'm your host, Brian Likes to Fish. I got a great show for you tonight. We got the owner of One Cool Tuna, Jeff One. Let's go ahead and get this show started. Great show for you tonight. We got
Mike, we're out here snagging grass and catching tuna.
Let's go, Corey. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. We got Jeff from One Cool Tuna in the house tonight. It's going to be a good one to talk about OCT jigs. Jeff's going to fill you in on how the company started. And so that's going to be a fun process. Some shout outs to everybody in chat tonight. What's up, everybody? It is not a results show. This is actually finally going to do a show. We got PB shout outs tonight, some weekly news, some be fun stuff here. We got Corey King in chat. What's up, Corey? Says hook them up. Corey, man, sounds like you guys, a bunch of spotty bowlers, had an epic fishing trip this go around this week. So I'm gonna have that and PB shout outs. You guys are gonna see some videos from that too. The judge says, who? What's up, Judge? You ready to start judging the Spotty Bowl playoffs this weekend? That's going to be pretty exciting. Looking forward to the results next week. Dave Rage watching from the phone while grilling zucchini. Let's go, Dave. Hookup Baits in the house. Chad, what's going on, man? Chad has an event coming up. We're going to talk about that in weekly news. Thanks, Chad, for tuning in. Leonard, Bay Creepers. Let's go, Leonard. Mel in the house. What's going on? He says, what's up, boys? One Cool Tuna. Jeff is in the house. Let's go ahead and without delay, bring in Jeff from One Cool Tuna.
Hey there.
Hey, Jeff. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing back there on the West Coast?
That's right. If you guys didn't know, Jeff, how long did you live out here in California for?
30 plus years.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, basically a native, California native, I guess you'd call you. And you've left us. What was your move? Where did you go and why? Why would you leave California?
I've relocated to Kentucky. The family's back here in Kentucky, and I got tired of giving California all my retirement funds.
There's a lot. My parents did the same thing. My parents moved to Oklahoma to retire. It's a little simpler to settle down in other states in California. You got to be a hustler, man. You got to work to stay here in California. It's not easy, man.
No, I was just back there, and it was just like, I was like, gas prices? What are you talking about?
We haven't even hit the, we haven't hit the summer price here, I don't think yet. I think we're going to get like a 50%, or not 50%, 50-cent increase here coming up soon. I heard this, they're going to start giving us that summer blend gas that's like supposed to be cleaner or something for the summer.
Yeah. No, you don't want, no, I mean, I just went and filled up the truck today. I was paying $2.73 a gallon.
Wow. So half of what we're paying. I think no, not quite half. I think we're about a 430, 440 right now. So
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. The judge says Jeff sounds like a redneck now. I don't hear that Kentucky. I don't hear that Kentucky accent yet.
Yeah, well, you get down to it real quick out here.
Yeah. It's my parents say it's a pretty simple life out where they live in Oklahoma. A lot of people are just slow down the pace out there, man. Then you got to, because this time of year, what Jeff was telling me, what is it, 90 degrees out right now? It's 10 p.m. out there.
It was 86 when I came into the office here. It's 10 o'clock at night here, and it was 60% humidity.
Ooh.
So there's a unusual high pressure sitting over us right now, and it's been cooking us for the last 3 or 4 days, but it's supposed to cool down, and we're supposed to get some thunderstorms this weekend, so it should be a little bit nicer, a little bit more bearable.
I hope so, man. Enjoy that. Kevin Keller says, what's up? Hey, Kevin, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. I hope it cools down for you a little. I know when I go back to the East Coast or whatever, and they open the plane door and you walk out, and that humidity instantly hits you. You're like, oh man, this isn't California or
Yeah.
Florida or any other state. And you
Yeah.
notice exactly when you get back and you get back to San Diego, you're like, oh, this is nice. I like it here.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely a little bit different, but it's it's easy. I like it. It's the people are really really nice. They're not really anti-California negative. They're real friendly. It's a little bit simpler, a little bit quieter, a little bit easier going here. It's nice. It's nice. It really is. I'm enjoying the change.
All right. I asked my guest this question. Now that you're in Kentucky, this is a really important question because we all want to know. Jeff, what is your taco shop order and how are the taco shops in Kentucky? Because this is important for us in Southern California.
So the Kentucky, there's a lot more Mexican restaurants here than I was expecting.
Not
But
Mexican restaurant. I'm talking a taco shop, not like
right,
a.
taco shops are a little rare. There's Mexican restaurants, but taco shops are a little bit rare.
Hmm,
Um, they do have them, but most of them tend to be a little bit towards the Tex-Mex,
right.
or more so than what I call the Mexican taco shop. But if I get into one and I find one good, it's a California burrito. It really is.
That's probably my most popular answer, I think, with everybody is either the carne asada, excuse me, guys, or the California burrito.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong with that, man. That's something like if you've been fishing all day or you want something, man, that California burrito, man, those things will tide you over all day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, but I'm finding little niches out here and little out of the way places that kind of satisfy the Southern California vibe. The one thing they don't have out here that I was really surprised at is tri-tip.
No way. That seems like
Yeah.
something to be so basic out there, especially that close to Texas.
Well, I just figured barbecue. I mean, they're all barbecue here. They all do brisket. They all do pulled pork,
Yeah.
but they don't know what tri-tip is here.
Huh.
And finding it in a grocery store, even Costco, is hard to find.
Oh, that's odd. I thought that would just be universal everywhere.
Yeah.
Carl Black's in chat. He says, "Snag, what's up, Carl? How are you?"
Hey, Carl.
All right, a couple more quick questions here. Jeff, if you watch this show, he watched the old show with me on a long time. I'm a super superstitious kind of dude. Got some lucky items I like to fish with. Are you a superstitious angler, or do you have any lucky items you have to have when you go out?
The hat. This one here has been with me for a while. It's I had one before. This was a for some reason it was just a Costa hat that I'd gotten a long time ago, and the thing was beat to hell
Uh huh.
and tattered and everything else. And I actually got it blown off my head on a long range trip,
Oh
and
no.
and it was like I almost like turn the boat around. We got to go back.
Hey, didn't you bust out the iron and try to go snag that thing real quick?
Yeah, it was like no, not the hat.
That that has happened
So,
to me as with Salty Dangler, and he grabbed my hat and threw it. And I was like, nope, I'm in my boat. I'm going back to get that thing. So I know the feeling. And that hat was never lucky again, though. I think it washed
oh
off
yeah,
the look.
yeah, definitely.
Zachary Riggs in chat. He says, "What's up, gents? What's up, Zachary? How are you?" Corey King says, "Hook removers." Is
Oh
that
yes, thanks. Yes, Corey is the expert hook remover from fingers.
oh no. Do you got a story to tell?
Well, yeah. Remember the last year, the spotty bowl, the
Uh-huh.
last session, I finally got my one
Oh
spotty,
yes. Oh yeah.
and and the hook went right into my finger, and I'm trying to
Oh,
get the thing in before deadline, and trying to get the picture.
I do remember
Hey,
this.
Corey's over there trying to get the hook out of out of my thumb. It was
Oh.
just, yeah, it was nasty.
Was it on a slow pitch jig?
It was on a submission.
Oh yeah, those hooks are like they'll grab you, man. Those things are grabby. That's all I gotta say. They're real grabby. They're the assist hooks that are dangling behind it. They're just
Yeah.
grabby little things. You gotta watch out. I'm always afraid of taking one of those to the leg or something.
Oh yeah. And this fish was super calm when I pulled him in, and everything was great. And then I went to get the hook out of his mouth, and he just went ballistic, and the other hook flaring around just went right into the thumb.
Oh, those spotties will watch you. They'll lay down, if you set them down on the boat deck or on the dock or wherever you're at, you watch their eye, they're watching you. And as soon as your hand comes in, man, that's when they like, okay, you're going to try this.
Yeah.
They use all their weapons, which is every side of their body.
Oh,
Driftwood Fishing says, what's up, guys? What's up, Driftwood? Thanks for coming in. All right, Jeff, let's go ahead and get on to some weekly news.
there you go.
Here we go. And hang out, guys. We're going to talk about One Cool Tuna as soon as weekly news is over. We're going to go ahead and show off some jigs that Jeff makes and talk about some One Cool Tuna products. But first up, we got weekly news. First up, we got the LAOC and San Diego semifinal playoffs. Have you been following Spotty Bowl, Jeff? I know you're a sponsor of it. Okay. Yeah, so we're down to the semifinals, and the people that win this weekend will be moving on to the final round where they'll be announced at the Spotty Bowl award ceremony. So Alamitos Bay for you guys up there in LAOC, and down here in San Diego, it is San Diego Bay. So looking forward to it. I'll be fishing this weekend, and looking forward to see how I do. I don't have many people cheering for me anymore. Jeff won it too many times, so I'm usually whoever I'm fishing against. That's who everybody's. Me and Chad, I think people are kind of done with us. They're like, okay, let's let somebody else win. So, we're not gonna let anybody we're not laying down for nobody. They got to beat us.
No.
But yeah, I think people are getting sick of us being in there. But hey, there's a lot of new players in there this year. Let's see if we can get a brand new Spotty Bowl champion this year.
There was a couple of upsets there in the first round.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of upsets. There was a bunch of 7 and 6 seeds that proceeded forward. Yeah, so if you guys missed, watch last week's show, and it has all the playoff brackets. Or if you're part of the Discord, Spotty Bowl Discord, you can check that out. But next week we'll have the results for the semifinals and find out what's going to happen on July 12th for the finals. It's going to be pretty exciting. I mean, we've all fished since January, so we're like 7 months into this, or 7 months into this thing, and it's all going to come down in about 2 weeks.
That's what I like about this event. It's so long that it allows the cream to come to the top.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Or people that, like look, some of the guys were struggling a little bit in that last 2 rounds. Man, they kicked in and they made that like Davey Brown from Akuma, for instance.
Yeah,
that guy, I think he was always under the red line. That's why I hated that thing. And then all of a sudden he had like a couple really good rounds. Boom. And he's in playoffs, and boom, he wins his first round. Let's see how he does. That's an exciting one to follow. The award ceremony is July 12th. It's over at the Fastlane Kayak Center. So if you want to come on down, even if you're not part of Spotty Bowl, you're welcome to come on down and hang out with everybody. Chuck is going to be serving us all food. It's $10 for a food ticket. He's serving brisket and pulled pork. So $10 is a steal for all that nice food he make. I think he makes mac and cheese, all kinds of good stuff. Bring your own drinks. Drinks are not included, so bring your own drinks. Right here, $10 per person. There's Chuck. There's Andy. Everybody helping out. He catered. If you went to the Spotty Bowl Awards, what was it, Jeff? 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago he did it, and it was phenomenal. It's the best Spotty Bowl food we've had. It's really good. So thanks, Chuck, for hooking us up and doing that too. I know it's a lot of work behind the scenes when you're cooking things like briskets. Those don't just happen, guys.
No.
So make sure when you see Chuck, you thank him. Here's where it's going to be. I want to remind everybody when we get there, this is all it is. So we set up our easy ups and set up our tables and everything for me and the judge and everybody. But if you're coming, there's some tables there, but we can't guarantee they're going to be available. They're right out in front of the shop, but bring a chair. If you want, bring an easy up. And if there's room, we can set them up. I know HD Bates is bringing some easy ups, and some other people are bringing some easy ups, but if you can bring an easy up, and if there's room, we'll put them all up, but don't forget to bring a chair.
We'll have One Cool Tuna easy up there.
Driftwood says, thanks for all the love and support to both you and the Blue Collar Classic, which is One Cool Tuna is a proud returning sponsor. Oh yeah. You guys, the Blue Collar Classic is going on right now. So if you want to sign up, you can get a hold of Driftwood right there. Hey, how can they sign up for that, by the way? Where do they go to sign up for that? But that's like a series tournament where you're going for your largest bag over the entire summer. So that's a fun series to do once Spotty Bowl's over. If you got nothing to do, or if you want to jump in right now, hop in and join on that. A lot of people have been on here and said they've had a lot of fun doing that event.
There's a couple of links out there for it. It's Blue Collar tournament is one of them, but yeah, it's there's a couple of different ways.
He says Fish Chaos app, so it's run through. That's easy. Fish
Yeah.
Chaos. A lot of you guys that fish the Bloody Deck stuff and other tournament series that run through the Fish Chaos app, and I'm sure it's right on there. So, look who's in the house. The champ's in the house. What's up, Brett Wilson? Glad to have you in here. Thanks for showing up. Let's see you at the awards ceremony. I'm assuming you're going. But bring a chair. We also have a raffle, so a lot of our sponsors have donated prizes for the raffle. Plus, we'll have all kinds of stuff. Or if you want to donate something for the raffle, let us know. But it's $1 per ticket or 25 for $20, and there's a lot of good prizes given out at the raffle. So if you want to buy a raffle ticket, we'll talk to the judge when you get down there. I have seen the awards, Jeff. The PDFs have came across. Oops. The PDFs have came across today, and me and the judge are looking over them for spelling errors, etc. And they look beautiful this year, guys. That like color logo, the new logo, Spotty Bowl logo, you can see the top right corner is going to be on them, and it looks beautiful. So anybody that got a first place or Angler of the Year in any of the tournaments or any of the sessions, I mean, we'll be getting one of these plaques. Show up, and we'll be handing all those out. And then this, of course, the main event is the Spotty Bowl champions will be crowned. I don't know why I don't have last year's picture. I need to make sure we take a picture this year, Jeff. And everybody
I did some last year. I took a bunch of pictures. Should be there. They should be on the.
I don't know. I've lost them, Jeff. I couldn't find them, but I found this one. But that's
okay.
What's up, TB Metal Arts in the house? What's going on? Those belts right there are made by TB Metal Art, and this little fish behind me is made by TB Metal Art. And part of that raffle,
one right here.
Oh yeah, we all have TB. I would say I have a minimum of like 6 pieces of TB Metal Art in my house right now. I don't know if I ever show you he made me like this Disneyland entrance sign. I love that thing.
Yeah,
it's right in my living room. Yeah, it's killer. I love that thing.
Legit. I mean, that looked like the real thing from the 60s.
It's nice. I'll move that to the background here. So Spotty Bowl champions will be crowned at this exciting moment for some of us. All right, coming up, we have a fundraiser tournament. Chad, who is going off to the U.S. angling, he's going to compete. Is it in Florida? Yeah, in Florida on August 9th. Is doing a fundraiser for other anglers, him and other anglers, to get them out to Florida. It's not a cheap trip, Jeff, to get all the way out to Florida. So we're doing a fundraiser so we can get California to represent in the U.S. angling. What do you call this, Chad? U.S. anglers. It's like you're representing the United States. So you're going to Florida to compete to get a spot on the U.S. angling team to represent the United States. Let me make sure I get all this correctly. Make sure I got all these dates and everything correct. I got it written down here. It's July 13th. It is right the day after the Spotty Bowl Awards. So if you want to go to it, it's at Tidelands Park. You can see it right on the screen. It starts at 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's $20 to sign up, right, Chad? Let me make sure I got this right. Yeah, $20 to sign up. The tournament includes lunch, first, second, and third place trophies. It's a species tournament, just like the qualifier it was at the U.S. Angling Qualifier. So it's not a spotty specific tournament, but it's a species. You're going for as many species as you can catch on this. It's open to all kayaks, motorized and man-powered paddleboards and float tubes. Gosh, if I have enough energy, I'm going to definitely go down to it. I can't guarantee you, Chad, but if I'm not wiped out from doing that award ceremony or fishing, I'm going to hit that up too. He says it's a U.S. Saltwater Kayak Team Nationals. Chad has, I'm going to go ahead and show this. Chad has a YouTube video out. He just put out either today or a few days ago. It says how I won the Team California U.S. Tournament qualifier. And I'm going to go ahead and try to show you a little bit of this video right here. But in the beginning of this video, he explains how the tournament series worked with different species for different points. And if you want to watch that, that's at the beginning of the video. I'm going to show you a little bit of his fishing right here. If I can get this to work. Let's see if I can. Okay, here we go. Maybe. I think I can do it, Jeff. We're going to find out.
I believe you.
Here we go. I don't know why this is so hard. Oh no.
Oh,
Chad, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it to work here. It's doing some kind of craziness. It's going into it's going into I don't know what it's doing here. Let me try it one more time. I'm going to try this one more time. I'd like to show it. Okay. Here we go. I think I got it now. It may not have audio, guys. Sorry. It's not going to have any audio, but I'll give it a shot just so we can see some a little bit of the video.
No, it's got audio.
You got audio?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, this is Chad. He was fishing the angler series I was talking about. I watched some of this video. I found this kind of interesting that he's showing you guys basically what he does. He is using his phone for navigation to see structure, and then he's also got his fish finder going simultaneously. And he's down, looks like in South Bay, but and I'm going to see if I can rewind this a little bit too, and then show you the beginning of this video where Chad explains.
Catch, video, and release works. And then here's the chart of what the point value of all the fish are. So, say there's calico bass, 3 points, spotted bay bass, 3 points, sand bass, 3 points, then, halibut, 7 points, then so on. His sculpin, sargo, blackfin croaker, white sea bass.
But if you guys want to watch this whole video, Hookup Baits on YouTube, check it out, and he'll explain the rules on how that works, and you can see how Chad won that actual tournament. Pretty cool stuff. All right, next up, we got the Star Tournament. Are you part of this? I guess you being in Kentucky is probably tough, eh?
Yeah. Well, I did sign up for it, and I did enter my one fish that I caught when I was out there 2 weeks ago. So
hey,
I've
man,
got one entry.
I'm choking on this. I've probably caught, I don't know, 3 or 4 fish that would qualify. And once I forgot my bump board, and the other 2 times was during Spotty Bowl, and I was like in too big of a rush. So I forgot basically to do it. So hopefully that doesn't cost me a major award. The CCA has their Star Tournament going right now for $40 for members. Enter that, and the grand prizes are giving away that boat right there, which, dang, if you win that would be pretty exciting. It's a Parker. Sweet. Yeah, that would be sweet. It's a Parker boat. I think it's, let me see if I can get the details of 2025. It's a Parker boat with a 150 horsepower, and it's located down at Fastlane right now. If you want to take a look at it, they also have a shorts division for a lot of us in the fish the bays a lot. If you catch a 17-inch or less sand bass, you can enter that into for a different 7 prizes they're giving out for that. And they are giving out weekly prizes also. I think I saw that Frank has won this twice. Frank is cleaning up on the weekly prizes here.
Yeah, I just saw that. I think yesterday.
Yeah, Frank, the most famous man of fishing, who's going to be down at the awards ceremony, will be signing autographs down there, and he's been winning. Here's some of the prizes you can win. Jump right in. It goes all the way to August 31st. So even if it's not even halfway over yet, guys. So jump right in and try to get a few points and see if you can win one of these major awards. There's a boat in front of Fastlane. If you want to go take a look at when we're all down there, we'll see that thing. Yeah. And there's at the Bass Pro Shop, there's the awards party, and I'm going to be heading up to that. If anybody wants to ride up there with me, let me know. I'll be taking my truck, holds me plus 4 or 5 dudes, depending on your guys' sizes. And we can
I might actually be out there for that.
Oh yeah, I'll pick you up. You up. We'll head on up there. It starts at noon. It's over at 3, so it's only a few hours. We get to hang out at the Bass Pro Shop and see some of these raffle prizes be handed out. Hopefully, we'll be hooking a boat up to my truck, and hopefully, we'll be hooking, putting some bicycles and stuff in the back. That'd be fun.
So you're going to deliver it all the way out here to Kentucky for me?
I'll deliver it right to my house, and then whenever you want, you can come out and use it. Okay. If I win it, me and Davey Brown are turning that into a Jungle Boat cruise boat, and we're going to do comedy tours on the bay. That's the plan.
There you go.
I talked about this a few times, guys. Snagging grass and catching bass, freshwater edition, basically. Haven't done any work on this yet, guys, but I'm seeing there's a little bit of interest in it. So as soon as Spotty Bowl is over, I'll start talking about this a little more. But I'm thinking about doing a 3-round, basic same rules Spotty Bowls, but for freshwater bass. Just to kind of, I don't know, have fun out on the lake, maybe learn some stuff from each other, get a little better at largemouth fishing. I'd like to, I love to fish for largemouth, and I'd like to get better at it. So hopefully some slayers will enter this and teach me how to become a very good largemouth angler. That'd be fun.
So they have opened up, so they haven't closed down Hodges?
It's closed down to everything but kayaks and float tubes. So perfect for this event. So you can't take a boat in there because the water level. It's supposedly the dam at Hodges is like 100 years old. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe in the 20s, I think. So yeah, 100 years old, and they're scared. I think fill that thing to a certain level because it may not be. I don't know, structurally sound. I don't know. And so they keep it kind of low, which keeps the launch ramp not capable of boats launching from it, but you still get kayaks and float tubes out there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about El Cap. We had a big fire here last week, Jeff, and it was part of that area. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard any news about it closing down yet, but I've not heard. I know there was a fire over there by it, but coming soon. So after Spotty Bowl's over, start putting out some details on that schedule, etc. It'll be a free event. It'll just be for fun. All right, here we go, Jeff. You sent me these pictures right here. Bloody Decks had their annual. Is this a Yellowtail tournament?
Yellowtail shootout, yeah.
Yellowtail shootout. Were you at this event?
No, unfortunately, I wasn't. My rep was, but I'm one of the proud sponsors of that event, and I do the trophy jigs for the event.
Oh yeah, I gotta see those in a second here. Steve, what's up? Steve's in the house. He says, Snag. Ricardo, what's going on? Snag, you ready for your first round of Spotty Bowl playoffs, dude? Is this your first round ever? And Driftwood says he's down for the freshwater tournament. Bloody Decks had their Yellowtail tournament. I don't know a lot of these people in here, but it looks like they were giving away a ton of cash. It looks like first place. Let me see here. The first place award for this. Am I wrong, Jeff? Oh, there's your jigs right there.
Yeah.
It's $16,670. Wow. What does it cost to enter that event? It must. And look at the prizes they won. That is a serious award right there. $16,000 for a Yellowtail tournament. Chad, how come you weren't in that thing? What's going on?
Yeah, these guys they covered all the side bets, all the side pots on it, and they had 3 of the biggest fish of the tournament.
Oh wow, so they cleaned up, huh?
Yeah.
I'm surprised Kevin's not in that. Kevin Nakata. He seems like he'd be a ringer for something like that. We need to put together a Yellowtail team.
I think he did win about 4 or 5 years ago.
Did he? That sounds right. So tell us about those jigs right there. I see the 5th place on there. Looks like a 5th place jig, custom etched.
Yeah, what we do is take the OCT jig and we laser etch them with the logo and the winning division and the year and so forth, and give those out as prizes for the trophy.
I wonder if anybody will use that jig when they go fishing, or if that's like a wall hanger, or
normally it's a wall hanger.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were supposed to mount them on the actual trophy there, but there was some communication problems with the guy making up the trophies and the jigs.
Hey man,
jig guy. So I don't know what happened there, but you can see it's just one of them just hanging on that one jig where it says first place. You see the gold jig just like hanging in the middle of it there.
Oh yeah. Driftwood says, what's up with all the heat going down about that tournament? I don't know. Haven't heard nothing about that. Chad says, I was out kayak fishing in British Columbia. What the heck? What were you doing out there? So we missed it. Eric Klein's in the house. What's up, Eric? How are you? Just thinking about you, Eric. Me and Eric, was it a year ago or 2 years ago, went to Cabo about this time of year and did a Cabo fishing trip, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next up on the news, we got this. Have you heard about this? We have San Diego prepares a Russian oligarch super yacht for auction. So I guess this thing was seized when the Ukraine-Russia war first started. It was seized and it was kept here in San Diego. The Armada, a 348-foot, $325 million super yacht linked to a Russian oligarch, is slated for auction in San Diego. The U.S. government seized it in Fiji in 2022, and it has been docked in San Diego for 3 years, rotating between National City, 10th Avenue Terminal, and now it's over in the port of San Diego. You can see this when you go over there. It's in the port of San Diego. It's right where the cruise ships go. A prolonged legal dispute has seen Russian billionaire claim ownership. A federal court recently approved the auction of it, though. The sale is to recover a substantial maintenance cost. Okay, what do you think that boat, Jeff, cost to maintain 1 month? There it is down in National City.
I thought I heard somebody say it was something like $10,000.
Oh, you're not even close. I don't know how. I want to get in the yacht maintenance business because the city of San Diego has spent around $850,000 per month I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but $850,000 per month to maintain this boat. So it has been in San Diego in potential efforts. So they're trying to auction this off to recover their money. So I don't know if that number is inflated. Sounds, I don't know, a little high. I don't know how they could possibly.
Well, I guess per foot, dock space.
Yeah, if you're getting it waxed every day, or I don't know. I don't know. It must be a lot going on one of those
They should be
things.
filming below decks on that thing,
So they're going to auction it off to recover some of their maintenance money, and then the rest of it is going to go to the efforts in Ukraine. So, wow. I don't know if I'd want to buy that boat, though. I don't know. A Russian oligarch cruising out in their boat, they may not be happy. They see you out there in their boat. I don't know.
Be a great fishing platform.
Yeah. No, it'd be great for anything. I'll live on that dang thing. And that is it for weekly news, guys. If you have anything that you would like on weekly news, an upcoming tournament or anything like that, events, get-togethers, whatever, send them over to me, and I'll make sure I give you a shout out on the show. Eric Klein says, Jeff, it was good seeing you at Squidco a couple weeks ago. Thanks for letting my daughter talk me into OCT lures. All right, right on. So it sounds like you got a sale from Eric. Father's Day. I know that was a big sale down there. Always is at Squidco, right?
Oh yeah, it was a good event. It really was.
I was fishing Spotty Bowl, I think, that day, or I would have been there, Jeff. All right, I'm gonna one more segment, and we're gonna get to talking about Jeff's jigs here. I'm gonna bring back something that I did a long time ago, and I feel like I should start doing this again. And that is, let's go to it. YouTube channel of the week. Been so long, Jeff, since I haven't done a results show. It's kind of weird bringing back all these segments and actually just talking to somebody about Spotty Bowl. And we'll be right back in action next week. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but it's weird not having the results show for once. Our YouTube channel of the week, in the Discord, I have a nomination if you want to nominate somebody for YouTube channel of the week, or I'll just decide I'll go out there and whoever I like, sometimes I'll put on here. But if you guys want to nominate somebody for YouTube channel of the week, you can get a hold of me, Brian Likes to Fish, or Snagging Grass and Catching Bass on Instagram or on Discord. Let me know if you want to nominate somebody for that. Jeff, we all have our YouTube channels we go home and watch when we get home, right? Like the daily guys. Who's your daily YouTube channel you watch?
The SpaceX.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. There's a couple of different ones that I watch from them, but it's mainly the SpaceX stuff. I like watching the launches and stuff. In fact, I actually, when I was out there a couple of weeks ago, I got to see that one that they launched at like sunset there. It was really cool.
Those are beautiful. I was at SeaWorld once, and they launched it, and it looks like it's going like sideways across the sky. It doesn't look like it's going up in the, up in orbit. It looks like it's crossing sideways. If you've never seen one, it's got this long trail behind it. It's pretty amazing looking.
They call it the jellyfish effect at sunset.
It was beautiful. I enjoy it. All right, YouTube channel of the week, and this YouTube channel of the week is, let me get a drum roll here. And that is Cash the Fisherman. Hopefully, Cash, you're tuning in tonight. But Cash the Fisherman, I haven't been really enjoying it. He's at almost 100 subscribers, guys. So if you haven't subscribed to Cash the Fisherman, he's Hookup Baits ambassador, and he's doing really good in Spotty Bowl this year. He's in the semifinals in both LA and in San Diego in the Masters division. Second place last year was a pretty good chance. He's got a good chance of winning one of those belts this year. So Cash, I think everybody's probably cheering for you, not to win this thing, because I don't know if he's an underdog, but look at who finally made it. Hold on a second. Cal is in the house. Let's go, Cal. Hold on a second here.
Catching rock bass.
There he is.
Yeah, hold on.
Snagging grass and catching rock bass.
That is the one and only Cal right there. What's up, Cal? No, I've got to figure it out. So Cash the Fisherman on here. If you haven't checked out his channel, he does a lot of spotty fishing, does largemouth fishing, calico fishing. Enjoy watching your channel, Cash. He gives a lot of insights. Like here's him showing like what was when he was fishing, that the fish were spitting up this bait, and he changes colors to match that bait, and it works for him. Check out some of his YouTube channels. If you're a Spotty Bowl angler, man, he gives out so many good hints. and shows you techniques of fishing the docks, the grass. So it's an excellent channel for anybody that's learning how to fish for spotties or is really good at fishing spotties, because watching somebody else fish, you might pick up just one little thing that might help you out. And I've enjoyed watching your channel. Sometimes he does these video presentations inside of his garage where he's tying knots or showing the difference in baits or different setups, like a double rig, that type of stuff. And I found that very informative too. So Cash, keep up the good work, man. You're doing a great job on the channel.
I watch it a lot.
Yeah, I think almost a swag. Well, Steve says, "Let's go, Cash." Yeah, Cal, your fishing trip is coming up. If you've been on social media, a lot of these guys have been posting this epic bluefin trip, and we're going to see that in PB shoutouts later. Cash says, "Thanks, Brian. You're welcome, Cash. You deserve it." So we're going to watch a little bit of video of Cash's if I can get this to work. But there he is at Lake Barrett catching largemouth, and let's check out one of Cash's videos. Hold on a second here. Let's see if it works.
There you go.
That brown got a little chewed up. The head started popping out because it's a bullet. So, about to put on probably the most chewed up green pumpkin in existence.
In your
This
money's
is
worth.
the only one I have left.
That's your
Feeling
color.
like green pumpkin water conditions.
Yeah, green pumpkin, definitely my color. And you know what? It doesn't hurt that he has a snagging grass and catching bass sticker right there on his. It doesn't hurt to have that to get nominated. Thanks.
This thing's been minted back together so many times. It's like white. Still looks good though. Oh, the green pumpkin worked.
There he goes.
There he is.
I love the sound of that on YouTube. That braid going through the guides.
Another good one.
Oh yeah. There it is.
And if you guys like videos like this, I would definitely check out Cash's channel. Once again, it's Cash. Let me put it up on the screen here. It's Cash the Fisherman. Let's see if it's working here. There we go.
There.
It's Cash the Fisherman on YouTube. Check it out. Like and subscribe it, guys. Let's put him over 100 subscribers tonight, but check that channel out. All right, Jeff. So let's go ahead and for you guys don't know, I've already introduced Jeff. He's the owner of One Cool Tuna. So let's go ahead and start talking about some One Cool Tuna, your product right here, Jeff. So I guess if you don't mind, start at the beginning. How did you come about to start up your own jig company?
So it actually started with the line labels. That was 20 some odd years ago. I started with the line labels. I was on a long range trip.
I happen to have mine here.
There you go. Yay.
Can you see them?
Yeah, I was on a long range trip. I had 10 rods with me, and I grabbed one that I thought was 50-pound test and turned out to be a 25-pound test. And
then the whole boat got angry at you?
Yeah, and so it was just like, okay, there's got to be a way of marking these things, and I just took a Sharpie and wrote on the side of the reel what it was, and didn't realize that the early Avet reels were not sealed; they were just straight anodized, and the Sharpie actually soaked into the anodized.
Oh my gosh!
So it had a nice big 25 on the side of it for a long time. So I said, okay, there's got to be a way of labeling these things. And I had a buddy that was in the printing business, and we got together and tested out a bunch of different material and different kinds of ink and different processes, and finally came up with a way to print a label that didn't wash off and it stuck but wasn't permanent. And I just started making line labels, and the guys on the boats seemed to like it, and started taking off with that. Then it came to the point where, let's see, it's been 7 years. 7 years ago, I started with the jigs.
Oh, wow.
I was big surface iron fisherman, and I just got tired of buying jigs that didn't swim. And it was like you never know a jig is if it was going to swim or not until you actually put it in the water, because there's just so many different factors in a cast or poured jig that you can't see. There's weight variances, there's air bubbles inside the jigs, there's the holes drilled differently, the hips differently, and the very small, slightest variation to a jig will definitely affect the way it swims. And I said there's got to be a better way of doing this. And I was working with a bunch of engineers, and we had a machine shop that did CNC work for us. And turns out that the guy there at the shop was a fisherman also, and he had been working on a CNC jig, but it didn't swim. He couldn't get it to swim right, and he tried and tried and tried and couldn't do it. We ended up actually being on a 10-day long range trip, and sat down and talked about it, and we had plenty of time on the way back and got together and figured it out. And he gave me a bunch of his blanks of his basic jig, and I sat there and took a file to him and a grinder to him and a drill to him, and kept messing around with him until I finally got it to swim right. And it was
What do you mean by swim right? For a lot of when you're talking about an iron, what do you mean by swim right?
an iron. It's kind of a strange effect. You're talking an iron, but it's going to be swimming on the surface, and it just doesn't sound like it should. It's metal. It shouldn't be swimming, but it's in the retrieve. You cast it out, then you retrieve it back, and you vary your speed of your retrieve to get the jig to swim right. And the way it swims is it should be like 3 to 4 wiggles and then a kick, and it should go wiggle, 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 and then it'll kick out to the left or kick out to the right. And your jigs will normally be either a lefty or a righty. They'll either kick to the left all the time or they'll kick to the right all the time. And the only time it can really vary is if there's a current that's affecting the way the jig is swimming. But normally they'll swim left. They're either a lefty or a righty. And you just have to vary the speed in which you retrieve it. And normally you're normally using at least a 5 to 6 to 1 gear ratio, and a star drag is preferred. Bait casters have been being used a lot more these days,
Yeah.
but they tend to be a little bit higher speed, higher gear ratio. So I actually have a jig that's designed for the bait casters. But your traditional star drag reels, like the old pens, I mean,
Right.
those were what guys were using back in the '60s for surface irons.
I've heard that. I don't know if it's from you and from other people that to get the best performance out of them, I did not use the bait casters. Use those big round reels.
Yeah.
Just
The spool diameter, what it is the bait casters have a smaller spool diameter, and you have a higher gear ratio with them. And what happens is that you're bringing more line per turn back on the reel. And also the smaller spools, when you're casting it, they tend to over rotate. They'll spin too fast, and you'll get your backlash with a surface iron, because it's a heavier jig than what you traditionally cast with a bait caster. Bait casters are really designed to cast jigs that are not that heavy. You're casting crank baits, you're casting hookup
Right.
baits, you're casting plastics with a jig head. You're not casting heavy jigs. So they weren't really designed for that type of casting and retrieve. They're good on the retrieve, they're just not good on the casting.
Got it. I'm holding one of your jigs right here, and it looks like a normal jig that everybody else's jig, but you're saying these are CNC, which means they're the exact same one every single time, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And
Computer cut.
what would you say? I mean, you guys could see unfortunately, the yellow doesn't show up very good. Do you have a better example of this, Jeff? My yellow didn't look very good
yeah,
on here.
well, here's a naked one. This
There you
one's
go.
naked. And you can actually see the hip here.
Yep.
It's got a little bit of a ridge on it there.
Is that what gives it the kick? That shape right there. That first.
It gives
That
it the
first.
wiggle. That's what gives it the wiggle. This when a jig is when a jig is swimming properly in the water, it's almost like a boat. It's like this. That's how a jig will swim, just like a boat, with the flat side on the top on the surface, and it'll wiggle like this going through the water, and then it'll kick out and then come back to center and then wiggle again. And with a good cast and retrieve, you should get anywhere from 3 to 4 kicks out of it before you get back to the boat. And hopefully, if you get your casting dialed in, you should be able to cast anywhere from 60 to 75 yards is a good cast.
Unless you're Kevin, it's 100 to 150 yards.
Yeah.
Whatever he casts with. So how long did it take you, Jeff, to come up with that exact shape? Like, how was there a lot of trial and error in this, or was it you?
Yeah, there was the actual finished jig that I ended up with was prototype number 22.
Oh, wow. And how are you testing those?
I was standing on the docks down there at Fisherman's Landing and
nice.
H&M and out there and just casting out there in the bay. I'd go out with some buddies on boats and because offshore water is different than bay water. Okay, the bay water tends to be less salty, and you don't have the currents that you have in the offshore. So you really need to go outside the bay to really dial it in. And you can't use a swimming pool because unless you have somebody that has a saltwater pool, because
with current.
But the freshwater has doesn't have the buoyancy that saltwater has. Saltwater has higher buoyancy, so it affects the way the jig swims. So there's a lot of factors involved, and it was almost a year from when I first started trying to develop a CNC jig.
That must have been a fun year.
It was.
Coming up with your own jig, and yeah. So I can't believe it was only 7 or 8 years ago. It seems like man, it seems like I've known your jigs around before I even knew you. I'd be at like fishing shows. I've shared this on the show. My birthday is October 10th. And the first time I saw that, I didn't know it was One Cool Tuna. I thought it was October. And I'm like, oh, October 10th, that jig's made for me. That's my birthday. Yeah. Cool. My son's like, buy it.
I actually had a guy come up to me at the show. He says, you have any that were made in February or March? I'm like, what? Well, all those were made in October. I'm like, no.
So tell me about the lineup. I'm holding right here the OCT 4, and are you holding the OCT 10? So tell me about the lineup and the different jigs that you offer.
So the original was a 10, which is your standard, like Tatty 7.0, Tatty 7, Salis. It's the very basic general jig. The 4 is a little bit smaller, and that's based off of the Tatty 4.0 Lite, which is like the holy grail of 4.0 size jigs, which there is no real 4.0 size there. If you actually go out, I had all my pro staff guys when I first started trying to develop a 4 size. I said to my pro staff guy, I said, I know you guys have got them. Send me your 4.0 lights. I want to see the length and the width and the weight of it. So I get it fairly close to that. And they're sending me these jigs, and I'm like, they're all 4.0 lights, and they're all different. And to find out, Daddy had probably 8 different molds to the 4.0. So when somebody says the holy grail of the 4.0, it's like, well, which one of the holy grails are you talking about? So, but
do you have 2 you can compare to the 10 to the 4? Do you have a couple different sizes you can compare?
I don't have a 4 in front of me. No.
Okay.
That's the 10.
The 10.
Yeah. So it's about 6/10 of an ounce lighter than the 10, the 4.
Okay. So not too big of a difference.
No, it's not too much of a difference, and it's about a 1/2 inch shorter than the 10.
Got it.
The next one I developed after that was called the 7.5, which is this one right here. And the 7.5 is flat on the bottom compared to this one where it's rounded.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And the 7.5 is for the baitcaster reels. It's lighter than the 10, so it doesn't get the spool of the reel to move so fast because it's lighter, but it has the same length and the same swimming action. Plus, the 7.5 can be reeled faster. So with the higher gear ratio, you can wind it faster and it still holds the swimming pattern. If you wind a 10 or a 4 too fast, they helicopter. They just spin instead of swim. So by flattening it, I eliminated that helicoptering spin.
Nice. Is that unique to One Cool Tuna? I don't think I've ever heard one designed for the bait casting reel.
Yes, I'm pretty much, yeah. I mean, guys go out and find jigs that they can cast with a bait caster, but they're Taddy and all those JRI and all those other guys did not develop a jig for the bait casters. I did develop the jig for the bait casters.
I know when that
tested it on, and that's what I worked on.
When that Tranx 500 came out and all the bass anglers saw that, like, oh, look at that thing. That thing's killer looking. And the Tranx 500 it got everybody into getting that because it's got a big spool. It's got heavy drag. You know, it's big. It looks big. And you're like,
gear ratio.
I can fish for tuna with a reel that looks like a bass reel. That Tranx 500 thing was pretty cool when it first came out. I don't know if a lot of those guys have gone away from that again, but I know when it first came out, was it 5 or 6 years ago?
No, it's still pretty possible. It's very popular still. So then the next evolution was the latest one was the mini.
Oh yeah, and we've had West in the Spotty Bowl has been winning all those. He's probably got a pile of them by now. It seems like he won it almost every week.
He's cleaning house on that. I got him all covered on the at the Squidco, and he actually had what five
wins. Oh, good for him. That's awesome.
So, and then he's also got the largest one, so he'll get a special prize package at the award ceremony.
Nice. Show off our smaller jig for that too.
Yeah. So the mini though is real unique because it can be fished like a surface iron, or you can fish it like a slow pitch, or you can do it as a cast and retrieve, or drop it down and bring it back. You can put a treble hook on the end, or this one here comes with an assist hook up the top, or you can move it with a split ring down to the bottom and put the assist hook on the end. It's really versatile, and it's freshwater or saltwater.
It looks like that would be really good in some like shallow water for rock fishing too, jigging off the bottom, that kind of stuff with that specific color right there. And those, you drop that thing down and it looks like it'd be good for that too.
That chartreuse is really, that's one of my favorite colors of this jig. So
David wants to know, what is the weight on those?
On the mini?
Yeah.
The mini is 12 grams.
12 grams, which in ounces, what is that?
12 grams.
16 grams an ounce?
Just a little bit above an ounce, I think.
Okay, so more than an ounce. Okay, yeah, that thing will get down there. Probably good 40 feet or less on that thing to get it down there and jig it a little bit.
I actually set one up and caught a tuna on one.
No way.
I put a pretty beefy treble hook on it, and then set it up with 50-pound of fluorocarbon leader and a 2-ounce egg sinker on it, and I pitched it out there into the middle of a foaming tuna boil, and I got a 40-pound bluefin on one.
Oh, what size was it?
40 pounds.
Oh, that's the perfect size for me. I don't want any of those 200-pounders. If I go out, I want the 30 to 50-pound range. That's the fun range, right? I don't.
At the end of the deckhand's he's like, we're gonna have to clean this fish to get that jig back because it's so far down in.
Aaron totally swallowed it. Oh my gosh! Did you get it back?
Yeah, but we had to literally cut him open and get it out of him. It was so far down it was not visible in his mouth at all.
The judge is here with some math. 12 grams equals
Oh,
0.43
it's a half
ounces.
ounce. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Judge, for putting that on there.
thanks, Judge.
Okay, so a lot of these guys, we had a discussion last week about colors, talking about swim bait colors. Does it matter? What's your most popular colors? And the yellowtail season's here, yellow bluefin season's here. All those pelagic fish are coming out. So these guys that are done with spotty bowl usually head on out on these party boats or hit La Jolla in their kayaks, or go hit the islands or wherever they're going. What do you recommend for like a guys that maybe aren't on a long range boat but fishing our local waters here in LA and San Diego?
The mint.
The
The mint is the number one hottest selling color of all times. It is. It may not be the color that I go to every time, but it is the most popular and the most used color.
Yeah,
It just is.
I would have thought you would have said natural for some reason, like just the natural.
Yeah. My color is either what I call naked. That's the
Naked. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Naked.
just the plain aluminum, or black, solid
No
black.
kidding.
Yeah.
I would think that for, I don't know, being a bass angler, I'm always thinking flash or that mimicking something. But mint, I guess that has kind of maybe a little bit like a mac, or maybe they just like that. I don't know. Who knows how fish see color? I always feel comfortable with calico fishing with this color right here.
Oh yeah, yeah. The yellow for inshore is killer, and then also down at Bay of LA.
Oh yeah,
down in the Sea of Cortez and down in the that area, the fish down there, the yellowtail down there, because there's a lot of what they call the golden bass.
you talking about cedros?
Hmm?
Cedros? Is that yeah.
But they've got those golden bass down there, the golden spotted bass.
Yeah, well, it's like a cousin of the spotties, but a little bigger.
Yeah, but the juveniles are like bright yellow. They're almost a solid yellow. The real young ones. So a lot of those fish consider those their candy in what they like to eat. So the yellow is real popular way south. The further south you go, and in the Sea of Cortez and Mag Bay and Bay of LA, that area, the yellow is probably one of the most popular colors down there.
Whatever fish is out there eating those spotties, don't let those fish get in our bays. There'll be a bounty on that fish's head. If there's a fish coming in and sucking up all our spotties, it'd be game over for that fish. We'd be out there in about 10 minutes.
The reason black works is, especially in overcast situation, is you got to think like a fish. They're looking straight up from the bottom at a surface iron that's swimming along the top of the water. And as they look up, it's high contrast. It stands out like a sore thumb because they're looking up and seeing gray or seeing white, for an overcast situation. And the black just stands out. And also, if you ever really get a really hot, fresh sardine out of the bait tank, they're black. They're almost black. And it just, it stands out. So that's kind of where I go with the black. But surface irons is the same thing with surface irons that you use for like your trolling jigs. Okay. Bright colors for bright light, dark colors for overcast. It just rule of thumb. So
seems pretty universal for all fishing, that advice right there.
Yeah. Your color choices, if the brighter it is, the brighter your jig you need it to be. The overcast, you need the darker colors. So
Corey King wants to know, for tuna, color does not matter. I think that's a question mark, maybe. Maybe when he's talking about when there's like a giant boil coming up and it's like there's so many, like an acre of fish, and you're just trying to get it's like that kids game where all those mouths are coming and you're just trying to like shoot a jig into one of their mouths.
Yes.
When it's wide open like that.
What you want to do is you want to try to match the size of the bait that they're feeding on. Okay. In those foam, in what we call the foamers for the tuna, that's more important. If you're out there fishing tuna and you're casting a surface iron out off the bow there, trying to get some action, I find the brighter colors tend to work better with the the yellowfin, the bluefin. Haven't had any real results with albacore because albacores haven't been around for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't heard of an albacore for a long time.
And I don't really know of anybody fishing albacore with surface irons back in the day. You know, if they got them bit like that, that was probably just what the hell? How'd that happen? Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, a few more questions. If you guys have any questions for Jeff, you got the owner of One Cool Tuna right here. So if you have any questions about his jigs or fishing in general, one more question. What setup do you recommend? What's your go-to setup when you're going out? Let's just pick yellowtail or something, for example. A lot of these guys, like I said, are inshore fishermen. So what would be a setup you'd recommend? What would you take out?
So your minimum would be a 9-foot rod. Okay, you really need that rod to be able to launch a surface iron. So 9 to 10-foot rod is typically what you need to use. Something with somewhat of what I consider a medium action, so you can get that thing to load up and shoot the jig out far enough. You definitely want a star drag reel. You can use a lever drag, but I don't recommend it. You definitely don't want to use a spinning reel. The spinning reel, that when you're retrieving with a spinning reel, that lob where the line is coming through and the length, it kind of lobs around and it actually takes some of the action out of the jig as you're retrieving it. That lobbing action kind of counteracts the wiggling action. So I don't really recommend a spinning reel. So a star drag, I use, my reel of choice is a Torque 25, Penn Torque 25 star drag. They don't make them anymore, but if you can get your hands on one, they're great. But something in that realm. The Okuma has a couple of nice star drags in that size. The Accurate Turn star drags, the Turn 2 that they've come out with now seems to have fixed some of the earlier problems that the Turn 1s had, and they're a good reel for surface iron fishing. 40-pound minimum because it's a reaction bite and it's a strike, so you don't really want it. I fish typically 50-pound, and my setup is normally I have 65-pound Spectra or braid, and then I put 100 yards of 50-pound or 50-pound mono on top of it. With that 100 yards, if I get to my knot, I know I did a hell of a cast.
Yeah.
But you don't want that knot going through your guides. You want it to be as smooth as possible.
Corey King says OCT has a great jig stick.
I was making a good jig stick. I've had to stop making it because I'm out here in Kentucky and you can't ship the damn things.
Oh no.
So, but they're Taipan. They're Simon and I worked together on an exclusive design, and there's still some out there. I'm trying to make a deal right now with a company there in Southern California to wrap them and to distribute them for me. But I haven't got it signed up yet, so I'm working on that. But Simon with Taipan, him and I worked together and developed the rod that had the right action, and it's a good blend of composite and fiberglass. Joey at Squidco had a few. I think he's got one left of a 9-footer.
There you go, Cal.
And then M&M Rods has 3 blanks. There's 2 10-foots and a 9-foot, so you could have it custom wrapped if you wanted.
Okay, so let's talk a little about your fishing. If you get one place to go fishing, I know you're big into the long range boats. Where are you going and what are you fishing for?
Guadalupe.
Never been there. Tell me about it.
Oh, it's magical. It's magical. Giant yellowfin, giant yellowtail, giant sharks. The island itself is just you could pull up to 20 feet from the side of the island, and it's 400 feet straight down.
Oh wow.
It just drops straight off, and you could literally pull right up to the sides of the island there, and fish deep water. And the tuna are real close. The yellowfin there are average anywhere from 80 pounds to 150 pounds.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yellowtail are anywhere from 40 to 50 pounds average.
That's crazy.
It's
I've
just,
never hooked into a big yellowtail. Biggest I've got is just in the mid 20 pounders. And that thing, when you're used to fishing for spotties or largemouth and bass, so when you hook into any of those fish, it's just, you're like, what in the world have I got myself into here?
Yeah. The shoulders on a 40-pound yellowtail.
Yes.
Kick your butt. I mean, kick your butt. I fished one time down at Alejos Rocks at 3:00 in the morning, and we were anchored up, and the deckhand that was on night watch came down to my room and says, "You gotta come up here and fish. Get out of bed. You gotta fish." And I go up to the wheelhouse with him, and I'm looking at the meter, and it's 10 fathoms of fish on the bottom. Solid 40 to 50 pound yellowtail.
Oh my gosh.
The whole bottom of the scope was red with these things. And we're dropping down 80 pound test line with like 1 pound sinkers because the current was just ripping to get down to the bottom. And it's about probably 250, 300 feet down. And we're on trolling rigs that we're fishing these things with. And as soon as you hit the bottom, you were on. And we're winding these things up, and they're 40-pound yellowtail.
Oh, from 400 feet deep?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like, we're bringing them up, and I brought up 3 of them, and I'm sitting there going, okay, 40 pounds, 80 pounds, 120 pounds. My cleaning bill's my process bill's gonna kill me. I said, I'm done. I'm done.
That's enough.
And the deckhand says, I got all the tags. And we just started tagging fish with other people's numbers.
What's this in my bag?
The guys get to the dock and they go, I don't remember catching 3 40-pound yellowtail. When did I do that?
Well, guess what? You got them.
But
that sounds like it.
Out there at Alejos Rocks, though, you run into into what they call the bronze whaler sharks.
Ooh, that sounds terrible.
These things used to terrorize the whaling ships because they'd come up and just devour a whale that the whalers had cooked, that they had killed, and these sharks would come in and just devastate them. Some of them are as big as great whites, but they look sort of like a mako or a tiger shark, but they're called bronze whalers, and they're just devastating. They'll get on a fishing boat out there at Alejos Rocks, and you just have to leave. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I know Muto's talked a lot about in Florida too, that you get any fish you gotta get it in quick because there's so many sharks that it comes up half a fish most of the time. There's a lot of discussion in chat about planning a trip, but Corey King says it's closed. Is it closed this time?
Guadalupe is closed right now. It's been closed for about the last 2.5, 3 years.
Oh man, when's opening day?
It is a national park reserve for Mexico, so it is a protected area. But there's something else going on there because they won't even Discovery Channel used to go there and film all their Shark Week stuff when they had the Shark Week.
Yeah,
that's where a lot of it was filmed, was out there at Guadalupe Island. So, but they won't even let Discovery Channel in there. They won't let scientists in there. There's something going on there where they've shut it down altogether. So, but there's word that they could possibly open it up maybe next year or the year after. And if it does open up, it's definitely worth the trip there. I mean, I'm lucky. I've been there 3 times, and I'll definitely go back again if they open it up. But Cedros is another place to go. Cedros is a good place to go fishing. Bay of LA is good. The only downside to that is the only way to really get there is to drive there.
Yeah.
And driving through Mexico is a little risky right now. You know, you're not going to want to drive a nice pickup truck there with California plates on it.
Put together a caravan, I guess, to get down there.
Yeah.
Okay. One last question, if you guys have any more questions, and then we're gonna get on to some PB shoutouts where you're part of this week, Jeff.
Oh, okay.
One last question about this. So you've talked about Cedros. A lot of these guys in here are bass anglers. How would you target calico with the OCT jigs?
I'd use the yellows.
Okay.
For
I think
calicos,
that's exactly the advice you gave me, and that's why I have this color.
Yeah. I've actually had calicos come up from 20 feet down just to hit a surface iron. They see that yellow flashing on the top, and they'll come from very deep down to hit that thing. Just go to your patties or your inshore. Get a clear spot where you can not get snagged in the kelp and so forth. And the yellow, the OCT 4s in yellow, or the lime green. There's one that I do that's called the Dorado, the Dodo, and it's a lime green with a yellow stripe on it.
I would say let's me and you next time you come out, because you're coming out on July, last week of July.
Yeah.
Last week of July. If me and you have time, man, we're gonna hop on the Cool Baits Express right here, and we're gonna go out and see if we can get some calico.
Also, I've been working on the newest jig.
Let's see it.
In Kentucky, I figured I ought to get with the locals and figure out what I can make a jig for the West Coast with the Kentucky flare. So I'm working on the redneck tuna jig.
What kind of kick does that thing give out?
It's not got a kick to it at all, but it'll get down there quick. It's 380 grams.
Is that the Mark Henry jig right there? That thing's awesome.
The old number 7. Okay.
All right, Jeff, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's see what we got here. It's been a while since I've done PB shoutouts, so you guys have been turning some stuff in. Let's go.
We've seen you out on the water. They say you fishing harder. I guess we'll find out this week on our PB Shoutout!
Oh, if you didn't know that, it's Cal. Why? Hold on a second. I got some noise coming in here.
You got birds in there?
I got cash going on in the background. Let's start that over here. You didn't know who that was? That is Cal up front, double fisting. What's up, Cal's in chat? If you want to be on PB shoutouts, send me, Brian Likes to Fish, a picture of anything. It can be a fish. It could be your boat. It could be an upgrade to your kayak. I don't care what it is, old or new. Send it to me, Brian Likes to Fish, on Instagram or on Discord, or Snagging Grass and Catching Bass on Instagram, and we'll get you on PB shoutouts. Let's get this thing started here. First up, look at who it is. This is Jeff. You do your own PB shout out. I'll give you so this is a 3-day trip on the Vagabond. Go ahead and give yourself your PB shout out here since you're on.
So I had the biggest fish of the trip. It was 189-pound bluefin tuna.
Ooh.
We got that the first night. It was like probably about 11 o'clock at night when I got that one. Kicked my butt for about the first 20 minutes or so. Until I finally got him turned around and dragged it back in. He ended up tangling in the tail, and I ended up dragging him backwards there at the end. But got him on the boat, got him in. But then
nice big
the
fish.
The Navy was doing something out there. We were off the backside of San Clemente, and the Navy came in and kicked us all off about 10 miles from the island for some reason. And,
hey, well, you got yours. The guy behind you looks like he's eyeballing you, like, hey, man. I didn't get one of those.
Yeah, his was a lot smaller.
It looks like you got some rockfish.
So then we went over to Tanner and started hitting up those rockfish, and they were huge reds there, big ones.
Nice.
So we all got our limits of reds there, and then went back looking for the tuna and couldn't find them. So out of the 3-day trip, we had about a day and a half of tuna fishing, and then the rest of it was just driving around looking for them.
That's the way it goes.
Yep.
Here you go. There it is on the deck right there. Congratulations, Jeff. That's a nice fish. 189-pounder. Sounds like a nightmare. Next up, we got Aaron from Big Water Outdoors. He says he caught his personal best largemouth bass today at Lake Hodges. Let's go.
Hey. Good job.
Nice one. That's a light color one. Must have been in the sun for a while or something. Caught it. He says he landed the fish using a 3/16 Texas rig with a knickknacks down and chartreuse bug. His setup was there you go. His setup was 12-pound fluorocarbon, a 200 Tranx 200, and a 3/8 to 1 ounce medium heavy rod. Fishing in 1 to 3 feet deep water. That's what I thought. He's up on shore right there, 1 to 3 feet, so right up on shore. It was a slow bite overall. The fish bit when I was clearing out a backlash. You know how many times that I've been like, I'm not kidding, like fishing from shore and I'll like just stop reeling to wipe my face or, hold your hat or do anything. And that pause sometimes is exactly what they're looking for. You stop reeling, and you're pausing to do something and bam, you're on. Don't forget about the pause, guys. It was a slow bite. The fish didn't put up much of a fight until it saw the boat, and then it splashed a bit and but it's still an 8-inch spotty hotter than it. When you're used to spotty fishing, yeah, they're pretty aggressive little guys, but congratulations, Aaron. Nice largemouth right there. Good picture right there. Lake Hodges. So that'll hopefully be part of the Bass Bowl. We'll see. Next up, we got this guy right here. What's up, Anthony? Spotty Bowler. He says, fishing in Silver Lake was an exciting experience. I used a 1/16 hookup bait red crab, a Phoenix Elixir lure paired with a Pin Battle 1000 and maximum 4-pound line. Ooh, 4-pound line fishing. How you doing on your 4-pound trout fishing, Jeff?
Ooh.
Scary stuff, huh? For a fish that size, too.
Yeah.
The fight lasted 10 minutes with the fish peeling drag up and down the beach. This setup landed me my personal best in Big Bear, which was a 9-pound 8-ouncer. Jeez. That's a nice one in Big Bear. I didn't really had big ones. That must be the Big Bear. Man, maybe not. Winter fish.
No, that looks like Big Bear.
Nice job there, Anthony. Next up, here we go. This group of guys. Bam. Look at this.
There you go.
So we had a bunch of the spotty bowlers and other anglers head out on a 1.5 day tuna. Let me read this right here. Corey King says, PB shout out an epic tuna trip on the Pacific Queen. Our recent 1.5-day charter on the Pacific Queen was unforgettable tuna adventures, covering approximately 85 miles west of Point Loma. 27 anglers joined. 5 of them were spotty bowlers. Let me guess. They're the guys slaying, right? Spotty bowl shirts up front. Including Cal, Cave Dog, the leader, Dave Rage, Mike, Peter 86, and himself, Corey, on there. Nice job, guys. Let's go through a few of these. A lot of pictures came in on this. So here's the Pacific Queen. 27 anglers, 51 over 100 pounds. Wow. How you guys feeling after that? That's got to be, guys' arms have got to be pretty noodly. We arrived at the tuna grounds at 2 a.m. on Thursday, but the bite had already subsided, leaving us fishless the first night. Oof. Well, that's all right. You got some sleep. 2 a.m. is fishless. Knowing that the daytime tuna action was slow, Captain Gavin skillfully navigated to Tanner Bank. There was a 500 to 600 feet of water. We quickly limited out on big reds in under an hour. Man, how do you feel about that deep water rock fishing? 600.
It's a lot of winding.
That's for the electric reel guys. Like, all right, here we go. Boom. Here it comes. And with enough wind, we successfully deployed a kite, landing an impressive bluefin ranging around 125 to 255 pounds before the sunset. All right, so it sounds like they started finding them. After an amazing chicken dinner, we braced ourselves for the night's battle. Around 9 p.m., we drifted over a large school despite the 10 to 12 foot swells and 15 knot to 20 knot winds. Eesh. We barely noticed the challenging conditions as every jig they drop met with a strike. Oh, have you ever been on a tuna boat where it's like that? It's just like every drop.
Oh yeah.
I've never been on that, but it's got to be just mayhem. It's got to literally, those deckhands must be like, here we go.
No, they're hating life.
Here we go. Who's the guy with the 40-pound line out here?
No, he's overboard. We'll come back and get you later.
Drop met with every strike. 2.5 hours later, the deck was covered with limits of massive bluefin. Sore mussels were abundant. but so many huge smiles and high fives. The final official count was 54 bluefins, with 51 of them that weighed over 100 pounds. Most were in the 120 to 150 pound range, a few in the 160 to 190, and 2 exceeded 200. One was 202 and one was 255. Looks like some of these pictures here.
Yeah.
There's Cal. He said Cal also mentioned that his arms were too tired to double fisting. He said I was truly blessed with the experience. Corey says, I was truly blessed with the incredible experience. Such an amazing group of men and ladies and youth. My nephew Drake, the youngest 16, landed the 202 pounder. Man, Drake, good job, buddy. While Mike F, the oldest 63, got the 255 pounder experience right there, right?
So he says, so you see there, he says, they say 120, and then 126 gill and gutted. So
yeah,
13% to that for your total fish.
Got it. So once they've removed the head and the tail, I guess.
No, the guts and the gills.
The guts and the gills.
Yeah.
Everett says beautiful fish. Yeah, it was. Cal says it was chaos, or Dave Ridge says it was chaos.
Yeah.
Lines scoped out quick, and we're throwing at least 400 grams. Yeah, everybody's trying to get down there quick. Okay,
Yeah.
some of the comments on here. Drake King says PB shout out for my personal best. Let's see if I can find a picture of Drake in here. And right there on the left, right there, that is Drake. Yeah. He says my personal best, 203 pounds. Caught him during the day on a kite.
Whoa.
Man, kite fishing's exciting too.
Yeah.
I've been involved in that one time. It lasted for 30 minutes. Wow. Okay. That's a good fight right there. Dave Rage on the right says, I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of pics from everybody about this trip. Yeah, I did. I'm too tired to write a story. My fish were 104, 115 pounds, gilled and gutted, and would have weighed 117, 130. Too tired to write in a PB shout out. Cal said, I went on the Royal Hookup Baits for 1.5 day trip. He said, let's see here, 100-pound setup, Submission Fishing Co. got it on the 300-gram Ogre. It was also used the 400-gram Eddie Bomb. I don't even know what that is. What's an Eddie Bomb?
That's a sinker.
Oh, God.
It's a sinker with hooks on it. Okay.
400-gram. Wow, that's quite a sinker.
Yeah.
And got my second bitch, which proves it doesn't really matter the color. Always say no color, just get out there. I'm sure if the fish are biting like that, you could probably tie up like a shoe and drop it down there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a sinker with hooks on it. So
got it.
They
were grabbing whatever.
Lead.
Here's some more pictures from the trip. Looks like a fun trip, guys. I'm glad you guys got out there and had some fun. Looks like a lot of reds. There's Corey with a big one. Oh, man. All right, next up, we got this guy. Get away from the tuna for a minute. Davey Brown from Akuma. What's up, Davey? Up there, I think, is he in Kentucky right now with you?
He's supposed to be in the area, yeah.
I think he's in Kentucky right now at the high school championships right now. I think if you look, he posted a video of like 1,000 anglers are in that. He says, I finally nabbed the fish that eluded me for 25 years. In fact, it was before I got married 26 years ago that I got my last legal. I ended up catching 3 aboard the CalStar 2-day charter aboard El Dorado Fishing out of Long Beach. After my second, I thanked and sent the third back to the bottom for the next time. So he kept 2 of them. Just hope it isn't another 25 years before I see another one of these. He says he was so excited when he landed it, he got emotional. Ooh, you got emotional about a fish?
I've gotten 3, and yeah, each one of them is emotional.
I've never got a big one like that. I've got a few legal ones, but never like these giants like you see right there. Never got one of those.
And my best is 53 pounds.
53 pounds? That sounds pretty big. How big do those things get?
I've seen bigger, but not by me.
53 pounds, because most of the time when we're out fishing for those, we're not even prepared for it. We're fishing for calico. I mean, here in La Jolla, I should say calicos or yellowtails or something. You get in one of those, man, you get your hands full. All right, one more PB shout out. We got Corey King says PB shout out to my nephew Cody and his son Drake. They came down from Utah for the tuna trip. Cody bought a kayak. All right, Cody. While he was down here, just randomly buy a kayak. Sweet. And we borrowed one from his son. We got them out on the kayak for their first spotty session after the tuna because they want to save the main event, Jeff, for after tuna. So tuna, that's the warm up.
There you go.
See what I'm saying? Spotty fishing, main event. So they took them out for the first session on Friday evening. We all got from the tuna trip. It was an epic bite for three of us. 50 plus spotties. Cody and Drake. That's a great day right there. Cody and Drake both had at least 6 15s and a kicker 16-inch spotty. Needless to say, they're spotty addicts now. Welcome to the club, guys. Here we go. Here's a few picks. Honestly, the fish were hitting so fast and hard, and the adrenaline was pumping so hard. We forgot to take a lot of pictures, but man, that is a great day right there. Looks like they got them on hookup baits. And fish to the evening. So tuna and then spotties. What a trip. Congratulations. Come down from Utah and doing all that. And that is it for PB shoutouts, Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing, buddy? I know we're an hour and 20 minutes into it. I told you it'd probably go about an hour and a half. What time is it out there?
You're good.
I know. It's keeping Jeff up late. So if you guys have any final questions for Jeff, now is the time to put in your questions right now. So Jeff, if they want to get in, if they want to buy some One Cool Tuna jigs or check out, how do they get a hold of you and how can they purchase your jigs?
So the jigs are sold primarily in retail only. I don't sell them online. I try to protect my retailers. I'm in most of the tackle shops in San Diego and Orange County. If you go to the website, One Cool Tuna, you'll see a list of all my retailers. I am now represented by SoCal Bendo group, which is a new rep group in San Diego. And they'll be attending all of the events that I previously had been going to. Since I'm now here in Kentucky, it's a little hard for me to do events back there in San Diego and Southern Cal. So Lewis and David, both those guys are with CCA and San Diego Anglers. So they're well known in the community. They'll be doing the events. In fact, they'll be at the award ceremony representing One Cool Tuna. They'll have a pop-up there and bringing some stuff for the raffle and so forth. As well as taking care of West with his prize for the biggest spotty on the OCT jig in the tournament.
Oh, looking forward to meeting them. You said it's Brendan?
It's David and Lewis.
David and Lewis from SoCal.
Lewis. They're SoCal Bendo.
So you're going to be down here, but you're not going to be at the award ceremony, but you're going to have somebody down here representing One Cool Tuna. That sounds awesome.
Yes, definitely. So, and next year I'll try to schedule things to where I work it out to where I'm actually at the award ceremony. I really like that award ceremony, and there's a couple events going on around it to where I can plan my time out a little bit better. So this year it's just I've been bouncing around between a couple of different charters and things just didn't work out. So
got it. Yeah. Well, at least we'll have somebody down here represented. We wish you could be down here yourself. We got one more question from Cal here real quick. He says, Jeff, do you do all the CNC work?
I don't do the CNC work. Those machines are quite expensive. The company that does my CNC work is San Diego. They're in Poway there. It's Aspect Design, and these guys are experts at what they do, and I'd rather have them do it than me screwing around with those machines.
I don't blame you.
But they've been making them for me ever since the beginning, and they're excellent. So if you need any CNC work, let me know, and I'll put you in touch with them. They have 8 Haas's, which are really big, high-end machines. All my stuff is done on what they call 5-axis, and it's they do some really nice stuff. They do aerospace, they do automotive, they do medical, they do guns, firearms, things like that. So they have a wide variety of stuff that they can do.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. I know it's late for you, an hour and a half on here, so I appreciate your time. Hopefully these guys got some knowledge from you on this. And guys, if you want to check out the best CNC jigs out there, check out the OCT. You're always at the trade shows. I know you're very approachable to come up and talk to. So if you guys see Jeff around town or any of these shows you go to down here, PCS show, Brett Hall show or Bart Hall show, definitely go up and talk to Jeff. But Jeff, I appreciate you. Any last words for these guys?
No, I really enjoy fishing with all you guys back there in San Diego. I'll be back out there at least 3 to 4 times a year, and I'll definitely let you guys know when I'm in town and we can try to hook up.
All right, man. I will catch you hopefully soon. And in the meantime,
Yep.
Jeff, we're going to be out there snagging grass and catching bass. I will see you guys at the award ceremony, and I will also see you guys next week on the results show. So we are out of here. Later, Jeff. See you guys.
Have a good one, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys. Good night.
Good night.